Hey guys, welcome to another episode of A Millennial's Perspective.
I'm Raina.
I'm JR.
I'm gay.
And I am straight. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about today's bar and club culture. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's a heavy topic because as a club goer, even to this day, we're talking about maybe like 2 decades of me going out. It has changed completely from what it was like back then, back in the 2000s, like early 2000s, to what it is
Even
now,
like
2025.
yeah, even in the 90s. We even partied in the 90s, like when we were in high school.
Well, back then they didn't really have, like cell phones that kind of distract us from other things, and we're like motivated to mingle and to meet other people, just right then and there at that moment. And that's the most exciting part back then. It was just like, you never know what you're gonna see, who you're gonna meet. It's such an adventure. So it's just like I don't know. I like the element of surprise.
Yeah, and also like we didn't have social media back then.
No, not at all.
There was no smartphones. So you went inside a club or a bar, and you kind of you had to make the best of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like time is very limited. Unfortunately, when you're having fun, like it just goes by very quickly.
Yeah. From our point of view as millennials, well, at least from a straight guy's point of view, for me, back then we were very. I guess we if we liked something, we would go for it. We would see a girl at a bar or a group of girls at a bar, and then me and a bunch of boys I would used to go out with, we'd go up and be like, "Yo, let's approach that group of girls over there," and then. And then they'd be like, "Oh man, I don't know," and then your heart would race, but then you would do it anyway without worrying what other people may think.
It's such a good adrenaline.
Yeah, I remembered and you're talking about like around 2005, 2006. I remembered me and my friends, me and my boys would go out and we would make fun of us, saying like, pretend you're going to like a bar or a club and give yourself like a health meter, sort of like in Mortal Kombat. And so we would go in there
I'm
no, me and my boys were like that because we're boys, we're guys, and we just want to like have fun, but we were like daring each other to make moves on girls and stuff.
Right.
And we would do it, and if it was a good night, we'd be like, yeah, we had a great time. Our meters would still be at green, which means like your life meter was like at like was still full. But if we kept getting rejected, it'd be like down to like the blinking red like life meter. And it was one of those things that whether we had a good night or not, when it came to approaching women or just approaching people in general, it was fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had no outcome worried. We just went out, we had a good time.
Yeah.
We would dare each other, we would get drunk, and then we would just leave the night.
Right.
Just being like, wow, that was a great night. And even till this day, after 20 years, I still remember those nights because that's what we did. We didn't have to show off. We didn't have to prove anything to anyone besides going out and having a good time.
Yeah, and you're just yourself, and you're gonna expect like rejection, and you're gonna expect, even they may even like you just because your personality really comes out and shine at that moment. Just because it's just like, I don't know. For me, I'm very opposite. It's kind of like I'm just waiting for people to come up to me, and it has happened. Back then, I mean, now it is kind of, but people get really distracted. I see it all the time now, that people always bring their cell phones and they always get distracted by even like watching stuff on their cell phones while they're in the club, and I'm just like, okay. Back then it was just like I don't know, people do come and come up with a certain intentions. And their intentions are actually kind of funny, comical, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. I give them credit.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it is, and I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, and they said that music is to blame for the club culture not being what it was. The music,
It's not what it was.
It was, what do you call it? Drinks or bottle service is a thing now where people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for a table. And I'm like, this is not club culture. It's more like you're just flexing. And I think, you know, for me, back in the 90s and early 2000s, there was no such thing as like bottle service. You know, I mean, at least a majority of people who went to bars and clubs, we didn't even think about bottle service. And we were college kids. We had no money. We were just there, get a few drinks, and just made the best of our night.
It was cheaper then, wasn't it?
It
was
cheaper.
Easy just to, no, it was definitely cheaper. Now it's just, what is it, like 10, 15 bucks just for a drink and everything else. That's why not many people come up to me and say, hey, can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
I don't really get that. But I mean, that's why, you know, back then, I mean, I've been to clubs in my early 20s, even like worked at clubs all the time too. And I see the evolution. It's kind of dying down with the socialization. I really felt like, you know, like back then there's a lot more dance room. Because everybody wouldn't just go in and dance, and there's very limited amount of like places that we could just go ahead and sit down and just like, you know, chill out. It was just all straight up dance floors, and which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a movie back in the 90s, and this is what me and my friends always, we use it as a way for us to get pumped. We would watch Night at the Roxbury.
Nice.
You know, like the Saturday Night Live skit, and they came out with a movie called Night at the Roxbury, and right before we would leave after the club, we would play that.
If that's your motivation.
Yeah, that was our motivation.
That's your motivation.
But it was nothing, there was nothing about flexing. You didn't have to like flex. You just went out, you had a good time, you talked to random people, whether it's, you know, even if it was just, you just wanted to meet new acquaintances.
And that's the thing, like, you know, that's why, you know, you have changed in a way. Your personality has changed because you're more daring. Like, you're more, like, you're not shy. You're not holding yourself back. Like, so right now, it just seems like everybody just seems to, their personality doesn't seem to mesh well with the other person, just because it just, you know, I don't know, that there's not that spark that I look into when I converse to people, just because they have nothing to kind of like share. I don't know. It's different. But that's why back then, like, we had no time, but we had no chance or you know, no opportunities to just like get distracted. But we have to socialize with other people and talk to them and try to adjust, you know. Which is something that we kind of lose that essence now, and you know, people's personality has seemed to kind of again change.
Yeah, I mean, we're millennials.
Yeah.
So growing up, you know, we didn't have too many people to talk to. We didn't have to prove anything to someone across the country. It was, you know, I think we just went out, and whatever was in front of us, we just made the best of it.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't. There was no such thing as selfies. Like, we didn't.
No.
We had digital cameras. We didn't have cell phones. We had digital cameras, and
yeah.
But then you would take a picture of a digital camera, and if you did that, you felt a lot better. At the moment, I don't know. I just felt like getting pictures from the digital cameras, it feels better than taking a picture from a phone. And we did that a lot at clubs.
Yeah.
We would just take our digital
cameras.
camera, hold it like this, and
cool
then take
pics.
a picture. Yeah, yeah. And the thing was, we didn't even put it on social media. We just took the picture, and then we would just go to like your CVS and then just print them out,
hard copies, and we just keep it.
And we just keep it for ourselves, for our memories.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool too. I mean, I know right now people love to take pictures and videos and all that stuff from the, you know, at the clubs, which is kind of cool, you know, trying to seize the memory. But you know, we weren't doing that back then. We were just, you know, seizing that moment and enjoying that moment, which, you know, like, to me, I think that's very more important than just taking a bunch of pictures. I think that takes a lot of time.
So what? So our dilemma or our questions to you and to us is, what can we do to bring back club culture, bar culture, how it was back then?
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, I know, like, in the LGBT community, I've noticed that we've kind of been more consistent. It still happened. Everybody still loves to dance. People are still, you know, trying to make things work. I definitely see people that's my age that's kind of like, you know, being old school about it. Definitely the young crowd just seems to be
I think the young crowd, they're just kind of boring.
A little bit, because I have nothing to talk.
Know.
Yeah,
like, it's just weird, you know. And you know, like I said, I was seeing some YouTube videos, and the statistics show that Gen Zers, more than half of them don't even know how to party, or they don't party at all. Especially like and I'm talking about like the age of like 21 to like close to like 30.
A little stiff, yeah.
They have no idea how to interact with actual people because they're just so used to social media, and and that's I guess that's how they have fun. I don't see it as fun, to be honest, because you're not at the moment. You're just seeing pictures. It's
Right.
it's different for us because we actually had to go and meet the person, and you get to see the person for who they are, what they have to say, and meeting people was just like, it was awesome.
I think like back then it was just like, I wasn't, always going to be like, just, I don't want to say like shit faced, but yeah, like people don't really tend to do that as much. But right now,
No,
people,
they don't drink as much anymore.
No,
Gen
no.
Zers, they don't drink as much as us millennials. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, obviously they're
I've
probably
seen some
healthier.
sloppy drunks though who are young because they don't know how to, talk to people, so they kind of, use that, ingredient just to kind of like, break the ice a little bit or try and make them more loosened up. Which, but for us it was more like, just again like just being in that moment and just talking. And I think that for me is like an adrenaline back then. Now it's just people just like to just get plastered.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah, that's why that they're awkward being out in the public, but
I mean, what I would do is to try to get it back as it was before.
yeah.
I am
Let's do
married.
that.
I mean, I am married.
not,
Yeah, I have a
but-
family, so those club days are over for me. But if I were single and I had to do it all over again, I would be like, okay, let's rediscover what we did before. I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. I'm just gonna go out,
Yeah.
go up to random people, say hi, start dancing.
Yeah, keep that club
And-
culture
and-
alive.
Yeah, and the thing is that you don't need a lot of money to have fun. You just need, I guess, confidence.
Yeah.
You need confidence to meet new people. Find a group of guys who have the same mentality of you, and just be like, yo, let's get this group going and let's go out, have a good time. And let's try to pressure each other to talk to women and get numbers. And I mean, that's what I would do if I were single.
Well,
Try
I
to-
mean, but you don't
that's-
have that problem anymore, just because like you already adjusted according, from back then how you kind of like adapted to and created that kind of personality.
Yeah,
but
and
now it seems to be more
Yeah,
tried.
and you know what? It's not easy. It's not easy talking to new people.
I don't know about you guys, but-
I mean, for me, even when I was growing up, back in the early 2000s, that's why I had a group of friends who had the same mentality as me. We were, not say we were, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're like, you just want to stay home all the time. What's that word I'm looking for? I forget. But
Bodies,
homebodies, oh gosh.
right?
YouTube, help me out here. What's that word I'm looking for? Introverted. Like some of us, yeah,
introverted.
we were a bunch of guys who were introverted, but we wanted to see what was out there because, we all had the same interests.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. Gen Zs are, people who are a lot younger than me. Like a lot of performers, they are young, they have a lot of energy, but it's very rare that we could find people like that, though. They're representing. They just want to like have that moment, and they just want to be known, which I totally appreciate.
Yeah.
People are just tend to be just like just out of their comfort and just be who they want to be. So in a way that there's a good amount of Gen Zs who kind of tends to do that or kind of gravitate towards that, but there's very rare that happens.
Very rare.
But-
Well, we live in different times now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got our millennial perspective. We'll maybe have a part 2 just because.
Hopefully, because there's a lot to say about this.
Yeah, we're trying to change the Gen Zers' minds about how to have a good time.
Keep
enjoy.
that club culture alive of what it was back then, or or even like mingle with or get involved with millennials like us who has been in the club scene for a long time, and I'm sure you're gonna like love it, and you're gonna probably be like, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing?
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. I'm JR.
I'm Raina. I'm gay.
And I'm straight.
Okay.
Okay.
Love and subscribe.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I agree.